rewarded. They talked about how your style reflects strength, not just in how you dress, but in how you carry yourself despite the weight you've carried in silence. They said you look like someone who survived storms, someone who walks with the fire of resilience and the gentleness of grace. God says, "My child, rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are surrounded. You are shielded. The plans I have for you are not small. They are not average. They are not fragile. They are mighty, and they are maturing. Even now, there are people thinking about you without knowing why. There are hearts being stirred toward you. Opportunities are being aligned. Resources are being rerouted. Because heaven has approved your name. Not because you earned it, but because I love you. You have walked through more than most know. You have cried tears that soaked your pillow at midnight. You have smiled while you were breaking. You have encouraged others while your own soul felt empty. But nothing has been missed. I saw every time you chose kindness over revenge. I saw every time you prayed instead of retaliating. I saw you show up for others even when you felt depleted. And now I say, it's your turn. It's your time. I am shifting the weight. I am lifting the burden. I am parting the sea. Do not underestimate the power of this moment. There are forces working for you that you cannot see. You are being lifted into a season of favor. That divine meeting, it ended with a decision: intervene now, bless them now, protect them now. Archangel Michael has gone ahead of you. He is clearing pathways, silencing accusers, dismantling traps. You are about to see answers you forgot you prayed for. You are about to walk into what others tried to block. And yes, there were those who tried to block it. There were whispers, there were lies, there were setups, but I turned every trap into training. I used every betrayal to build your discernment. I used every loss to increase your capacity. You are stronger now. You are wiser now. You are ready now. What once would have broken you will now bless you. What once would have made you retreat will now cause you to rise. Do not be afraid. I am not a distant God. I am the Father who stays. The friend who listens. The warrior who defends. I am the shepherd who leaves the 99 just to find you when you wander. I am not done with you. I have barely begun. You will see provision where there was once drought. You will see restoration where there was once ruin. You will see love where there was once loneliness. And you, beloved, must keep praying. Prayer is not your last resort, it is your first line of defense. Speak to me. I am not overwhelmed by your emotions. I am not shocked by your anger. I can handle your confusion. Just come to me. Let me show you that my arms are not too short to save. Let me prove that I still do miracles. Let me demonstrate that I specialize in the impossible. The people who once walked away will wish they had stayed. Not for revenge, but so they could witness what I'm doing in your life. I don't bless to impress, I bless to express my love. And my love for you is limitless. It doesn't fade. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't retreat. You are mine, and I will finish what I started in you. Do not let fear win. You've been under spiritual pressure because you're carrying something holy. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You are being prepared. You are being sculpted like a vessel for glory. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's heavy. But it's not punishment. It's process. And it's almost complete. You are on the edge of emergence. If you could see what I see, you'd never doubt again. If you could feel the angelic army encamped around you, you'd never fear again. If you knew the size of the blessing being released, you'd begin praising right now. So do it. Praise me. Even now. Especially now. Praise unlocks the door. Praise shifts the atmosphere. Praise is your weapon, your compass, your lifeline. Archangel Michael says, "Do not listen to the voices of defeat. They do not know what heaven knows about you. They do not see the crown above your head. They do not see the fire in your spirit. You were created for more. You were designed with divine blueprint. Your life has been watched over, not just casually, but intentionally. Every step has been noted. Every fall has been caught. Every cry has been answered, even if you haven't seen it yet. Now is the time to believe again. To hope again. To dream again. Stop shrinking yourself. Stop questioning your worth. You are not an accident. You are not invisible. You are not unwanted. You are treasured. You are celebrated in heaven. Your name is written in the palm of my hand. I have not let go, and I will not start now. People are about to see a version of you they didn't know existed. Not because you changed who you are, but because I'm removing the veil. I'm revealing the depth. I'm restoring what life tried to take from you. The joy. The clarity. The fire. The favor. It's all coming back. But greater. Heavier. Holier. Stay close to me. Stay in prayer. Stay in gratitude. Even when it doesn't look like things are changing, remember, the greatest shifts happen beneath the surface. I am building momentum. The breakthrough is already moving. The miracle is already forming. The favor is already flowing. Trust me. Trust me when it's quiet. Trust me when it hurts. Trust me when it makes no sense. Because in the end, you will stand on the mountaintop and say, "It was worth it." You will say, "God never left me." You will say, "Now I see why it had to happen that way." And you will walk in a light that darkness cannot comprehend. You will carry peace that surpasses understanding. You will become a lighthouse to others who are where you used to be. So rest now, not in complacency, but in confidence. Your name was mentioned in a divine meeting for a reason. You are known. You are called. You are covered. You are loved. And your story is far from over. God says, your name was mentioned in a divine meeting. And what was said has opened the heavens in awe and deep silence. Because your style, your divine glow, your spiritual presence, has caught the attention of not just people but angels. They said you don't just look like a star, you reflect the light of something far greater. They said, this one, this soul, they look like someone sent by heaven itself. And now everything is changing because of that. A voice was raised in the celestial gathering, an angel trembling while holding your name in golden ink. He said, this one carries a frequency not seen in years. This one radiates the pain of many lifetimes but still walks with elegance, grace, and a fire that refuses to die. And at that moment, Archangel Michael stepped forward with tears in his eyes, not of sorrow, but of divine urgency. He looked straight into the light and said, it's time. This person must be told the truth. A miracle has been delayed too long. The plot against them has grown too quiet. It's time they know. Their beauty, their energy, their silent battles, they have not gone unnoticed. Heaven has been watching. And something divine is being prepared that will silence every voice that ever mocked them. God says, you've been accused quietly by people who smile in your face. Your life has been discussed behind closed doors. Some praised you. Some envied you. And some plotted to delay what I wrote for you. But today, all of heaven stood still because a name was spoken in a divine meeting, your name. And immediately, doors began to shake. Scrolls began to unroll. And a decision was made that will alter everything you thought was final. There is a woman, older, quiet, always watching. She once held you close and whispered prayers that reached heaven when you had no words to speak. She has passed on. But today, she stood beside Archangel Michael in full radiant glory, pointing to you, saying, I told you they would survive. I told you they would still rise even after being betrayed by blood, bruised by love, and silenced by fear. Now, it's time. Give them what was withheld. And what was withheld? God says, an apology you were supposed to receive years ago. A fortune that was hidden from you. An opportunity that was redirected because someone didn't want you to outshine them. And a relationship that was sabotaged the moment they realized your love was too pure to be manipulated. Yes, they pretended to protect you. But they were delaying your rise. Now heaven is moving swiftly. Because your face, your smile, your style, your walk, it reflects a royalty that cannot be hidden anymore. Even in pain, you were beautiful. Even when doubting yourself, there was a radiance about you that made the enemies nervous. They said you don't belong here. But God says, that's because they were right. You never did. You belong higher. That's why I'm calling you up now. And here's what they said behind your back in that room. Who do they think they are? How do they still smile after everything they've lost? How are they still standing after being left alone, lied to, manipulated, and pushed out? And the answer echoed across heaven, because I held them. Because I covered them. Because they are mine. Someone you helped silently is about to speak your name in a room of influence. A conversation is already happening about you. And the way you carry yourself is opening doors you didn't knock on. God says, I've heard enough. I've seen enough. Now I will act. I will expose. I will deliver. I will reward. That man who pretended to love you but used you. His name is on a scroll of justice. That friend who comforted you with fake sympathy while secretly laughing at your struggle. Their name is being removed from your destiny's book. That opportunity you lost due to sabotage. It's coming back multiplied. Because now the truth is known. There's someone who's been watching you quietly. Not an enemy. Not a friend. But a divine observer sent to take note of how you carry your burdens. Every time you cried and still showed up. Every time you lost and still gave. Every time you were mistreated and still remained kind. Heaven has kept record. And now it's payout season. God says, I will expose the woman who tried to swap your name. The one who used witchcraft, charm, or lies to present herself in the position I intended for you. She has laughed long enough. Her time is over. You are the original. The anointed. The chosen. She was only a shadow. Your name was not just mentioned in heaven today. It was announced. Michael is already fighting battles you don't even know were rising again. Some of them were people from the past who want access again. Not because they changed, but because they see what's coming. God says, shut the door. This time I'm taking over. And about the letter? There's a message on its way to you that was delayed, intentionally. Someone hid it. But heaven intercepted. And soon, you'll know why certain things never made sense. Why certain blessings were rerouted. why certain people suddenly disconnected. It's because your glow made them insecure. But your silence made heaven move. God says, I will now show you that you were never overlooked. The delay wasn't denial. It was set up. The pain wasn't punishment. It was pruning. And the betrayal wasn't the end. It was the bridge. The people who once called you too sensitive, too much, too broken, they will now see what I saw in you all along. Your style? That's not fashion. That's favor. That light in your eyes? That's not makeup. That's mantle. That stillness you carry? That's not laziness. That's legacy under construction. And there's more. The people who disqualified you based on your past never knew the fullness of your calling. You were never meant to fit. You were meant to lead. That's why they pushed you out. That's why they couldn't explain why you triggered them. You weren't just different, you were divine. Someone with a powerful title and access to resources is now watching you with interest. Not in a romantic way, but with spiritual curiosity. They are being instructed to reach out, to elevate, to support. They've seen others get elevated with nothing special, but when they saw you, they paused. Because something about you feels ancient, holy, and powerful. You remind them of something they forgot, a truth, a purpose, a mission. That's why you're about to be chosen for something others thought they earned by charm, but you will walk into by divine order. God says, this is not the time to doubt. This is the time to dress for where you're going. Because you will not return to the place you cried in. You will not revisit the valley you were betrayed in. I have burned the bridges behind you and opened a new road before you. The voices that tried to limit you are losing access to your frequency. Someone is trying to contact you again because they sensed your rising. They may call. They may apologize. They may cry. But be careful. Michael says, their tears are a weapon. Their timing is not divine. Their spirit has not changed. They only return because they feel what's about to bless you. You don't look like what you've been through, but soon, you won't even remember it. Because a divine forgetting is part of the promise. Not just healing, but holy amnesia for the pain. And to the one reading this with a heart full of confusion, God says, you don't have to figure it all out. Just keep being faithful. Your name is already being spoken in places that will never spell it wrong again. You've wept in private for so long. But your public reward will silence every voice that ever questioned your worth. And there's something else. You're not just going to be blessed. You're going to be a blessing. That's why the enemy fought so hard to make you bitter. But he failed. Because your softness survived the storm. And now, God is turning your style into a symbol, your smile into a testimony, your scars into strategies for others. And when it happens, when you are called forward, called higher, called into rooms you didn't build, remember this moment. Remember that they didn't choose you. Heaven did. Remember that when your name came up, it was God Himself who said, yes. This one. Now. And you want to know what you look like? You look like destiny in motion. You look like justice walking. You look like survival wrapped in elegance. You look like divine favor finally having a face. And soon, everyone who once ignored you will ask, how did this happen? And the answer will be simple. God. And God alone. God says this to you right now, and you must listen with your heart open, because this message is arriving at a moment when your spirit is ready to receive what heaven has been trying to tell you for so long. God says that nothing around you is happening by accident, and nothing that concerns your family, your future, or your son is outside His protective sight. God says He has seen every silent prayer, every fear you held in your heart, every moment you stayed awake wondering whether your son is truly safe, truly protected, truly guided. Today, God gives you clarity that your heart has been asking for, and He tells you that an unseen trap was forming around your son, not to destroy him, but to test the divine shield that has been surrounding your household from the very beginning. God is not sending this message to frighten you. He sends it to awaken you, to empower you, to remind you that His guidance is the strongest force in the universe, and no hidden plan, no wrong intention, no confusion can stand against His will for your child. God says that your son is chosen in ways he does not even know yet. His Spirit carries a light that some people do not understand, and anything they do not understand, they sometimes fear. That fear can create misunderstandings, wrong assumptions, and emotional confusion around him. But God says your son is not walking through life alone. Every step he takes is watched over, every breath he takes is surrounded by angels who stand at the four corners of his life, forming a circle of divine protection that cannot be broken by rumors, jealousy, or bad intentions. God wants you to know that this message is not about danger, it is about deliverance. It is about revealing what heaven already dismantled before it could ever touch him. The trap was never going to succeed. The moment someone tried to speak something wrong into his life, God intercepted it. The moment an intention formed in someone's mind that was not meant for your child's well-being, God placed His hand in between. The moment someone attempted to mislead him, confuse him, or distract him from his path, the angels placed a wall of divine light that blocked the negativity before it reached his spirit. God says He is proud of how deeply you care for your son. Many people claim they love their families, but few hold the kind of love that touches heaven, the way your love does. Every prayer you whispered, even on days you were too tired to speak loudly, reached the ears of God. The reason this message is arriving now is because one of your recent prayers opened a door in heaven. It allowed the divine realm to step closer to you, to speak directly to your heart, to show you the truth behind the scenes. God says that your intuition has been right lately. You felt a shift around your son. Something you could not explain, something subtle but persistent. You felt his mood changing, his energy becoming slightly heavier, his thoughts becoming more distracted at times. God says this was not because something went wrong. It was because your son's spirit was sensing something he could not yet put into words. He could feel something forming around him, something he did not fully understand, and his soul cried out for divine help before his mind even recognized what was happening. That cry reached God instantly, and heaven began its work. God says that someone around your son was not honest with themselves. They carried confusion in their heart, and confusion can sometimes create misunderstandings that look like traps. This person did not truly want to harm your son, but their own emotions were clouded, and in that clouded state, they almost made a choice that could have placed your son in a difficult situation. But God says that before any of it could unfold, before any confusion could turn into action, He stepped in. He changed the person's heart. He softened their intentions. He removed the negative chain of events that was forming. He dissolved the trap before it ever took its full shape. God says that His timing is perfect, and this message is part of that divine timing, because He wants you to know that you were never alone in protecting your child. God was there long before you asked. God was guarding him long before you even sensed anything. God says your son is entering a new season in his